The classic cars in this video were beautiful. They went to auction, but did not sell. Let's take a look at what the high bids were and the dollar amounts the sellers refused to take. Let's go check them out. Starting with this 65 Bonneville, which is on the rare side because it's a 4-speed car and a convertible. The car is red on red and has a white convertible top. The red interior has bucket seats and a console with the 4-speed shifter. Under the hood is a 389 4-barrel rated with 333 horsepower. The highest bid for the car was $30,000 but didn't reach the seller's reserve price, so it didn't sell. The next car is a 1961 Chevy Impala. The bubble top is also red on red and has a 4-speed with a bench seat. The car was restored only a few years ago and has power front disc brakes. The engine is a 63 409 with 348 heads and a tri-power intake. If you enjoy checking out classic cars like this, then click the subscribe button below to be notified of my future videos. The bidding reached $37,500 but didn't meet the reserve price. Next is a 1970 Plymouth Cuda that has its original 383 engine, 727 torque flight automatic, and an 8 3/4 rear. I'm not a big fan of luggage racks on muscle cars, but if I had one, I think I'd rather keep it chrome instead of painting it black. All Cudas came with bucket seats standard. A bench seat was an available option, which cost an extra $16.50. By the way, the luggage rack was an extra $32. The high bid reached $45,000 and the car didn't sell. I learned later that the seller needed $55,000 to make the sale. Here's a 1967 Buick Skylark Convertible that appears to be in nice shape. It has a black top and matching black interior. The car has power steering and brakes. The 302 barrel and the engine compartment has been detailed and looks really clean. The car has new white wall tires and dual exhaust. The highest bid for the Skylark was $14,000. The next car is a 68 GTO Convertible that just received a frame-off restoration. 68 was the first year for this style, and the polyurethane front bumper, which was molded over a steel frame. I believe the engine is its original 404-barrel rated with 350 horsepower and 445 pounds of torque. The white interior looks just as nice and has the 4-speed shifter on the floor between the two bucket seats. Prior to the restoration, the car was only owned by one person. The bidding reached a high bid of $47,500. Next is a 1968 Camaro SS. The seller states the car only has about 19,000 miles, but it has been restored. One of the ways to tell a 67 and 68 apart is the side marker lights. In 68, they became mandatory on all cars. The 67 Camaro doesn't have them. The numbers matching 350 was rated with 295 horsepower and 380 pounds of torque. It's matched to a 4-speed and a 12-bolt rear. The seller wanted more than $63,000 because that was the highest bid at the auction. Here's a 1963 Pontiac Catalina that shows about 80,000 miles on the odometer. It looks really clean outside and inside, which has a bench seat cloth interior. The car is power steering and brakes, and there is the brake drum, which came with the Pontiac 8-lug wheels. Under the hood is a 389 matched to an automatic. The high bid reached $15,000. This 65 Corvette is very rare for a few reasons. First, because it has the 396 big block factory rated with 425 horsepower. They only produced about 2,000 of them. It was the only big block offered in 65. After that, there were 5 different versions of the 327 engine available. What makes this 4-speed car extra special is after it was assembled, it was pulled off the line and used by Chevy as a quality control car, where they kept it for about a year to evaluate and study. At auction, the high bid reached $114,000, but it didn't sell. The next car is a 66 Dodge Coronet 440. It's a factory 4-speed car that came with the 383. In 66, the 383 was rated with 325 horsepower. Something tells me this one may have a little more. It has a bench seat with the 4-speed shifter on the floor. The Coronet has front disc brakes and the wheels are American Racing Torque Thrust 2 aluminum wheels. The car did not sell. The high bid reached $33,000. This 1957 Eldorado Barritz is simply amazing. The video doesn't do this car any justice. They only produced about 1,800 of them, so they are very rare. Of course, it has power everything. Under the hood is a rebuilt 365 V8 that has 2 4-barrels rated with 325 horsepower. The transmission is a 4-speed automatic shifted on the column. Two years ago at auction, a car just like this one sold for $173,000. The high bid today went to $130,000. I found out later $150,000 would have bought the car. The next car is a 1970 Camaro SS. The car has a 350 engine, automatic, and a 12-bolt rear. The high bid at the auction was $20,000. Next is a 1970 GTO. It's a genuine GTO, but the judge stripes and decals were added on. The goat has a period correct 400 engine and a turbo 400 3-speed automatic with the 10-bolt rear and 273 gears. Mechanically, the car has a ton of new parts like a gas tank, alternator, fuel pump, and brakes. The seller says the car runs good. The interior has black leather buckets and a console. The high bid at the auction was $31,000. Here's a 1968 Chevelle SS 396 clone. The car has 17-inch wheels, power steering, and disc brakes. The red interior looks great, has modern bucket seats and a console. Under the hood is a 454 with 450 horsepower. It's matched to a 4-speed transmission. Here at the auction, the highest bid was $44,000. A few blocks down the road, this car was for sale at the Fairgrounds with an asking price of $57,500. The next car is a 1966 Plymouth Sport Fury that is mostly original. Under the hood is the optional 383 4-barrel matched to an automatic. The black interior looks just as nice with leather bucket seats, console, and factory AC. The high bid reached $18,500. Next is a 1956 Pontiac Star Chief Safari Custom Station Wagon. It's a car you don't see every day. They only produced about 4,000 of them, and try to find one looking like this one in better than new condition. The car has factory AC, power steering, and brakes. The engine is a 317 V8, which was produced only 1 year. The bidding reached $41,000, but didn't meet the seller's reserve. Here's a beautiful 1967 Chevelle SS 396 4-speed. It's painted bolero red, has a nice black interior with buckets, console, and wood steering wheel. The 396 was rated with 325 horsepower, matched to a Muncie 4-speed and 12-bolt rear. In the console just forward of the shifter is a clock. A buyer was willing to pay $112,500, but it didn't meet what the seller wanted. The next car is a 1957 Ford Fairlane 500. The car has new tires and power drum brakes. The engine is a 312 V8 matched to a 2-speed automatic transmission. The high bid was $16,500. No, that's not an Eldorado. The Oldsmobile Toronado Custom took its styling cues from the Cadillac. This 73 only has about 39,000 miles and looks great. It has AC, power seats, windows, door locks, tilt wheel, cruise control and automatic trunk release. The Oldsmobile 455 torque monster powers this big heavy car. The highest bid was $13,500. The next car is a 66 Chevy Caprice that came with a 396 turbojet engine from the factory. The Caprice offered a combination of elegance with performance if desired. I really like the squared off formal roof line. It's a nice contrast to the Impala's fastback design. The car came with factory AC, power steering and brakes, and power windows. The bidding for the Caprice reached a high of $24,000. Next is a GTO tribute car. This 1968 Le Mans is a convertible and has a 350 engine matched to an automatic. The GTO emblems, hood, and front Endura bumper have been added. The car has power steering and brakes, bucket seats, and a console. The bidding reached $28,000 but didn't sell. Here's a 1962 Chevy Impala with the baby moon hubcaps and painted steel rims. Under the hood is a 402 engine matched to an automatic. The red interior has bucket seats and a B&M shifter on the floor. The car has power steering and brakes. The highest bid was $29,000. The next car is a 1969 Camaro Convertible, painted blue with white stripes, a white top and interior. Under the hood is its matching numbers 327 engine matched to an automatic. The car has power steering and brakes. The bidding reached a high of $40,000, but it wasn't enough for the seller. That car is a 1963 Plymouth Belvedere Max Wedge tribute car. It has a big block with the factory Max Wedge cross ram intake with 2 4-barrels and exhaust manifolds. It has an automatic with the push buttons on the dash, Dana rear, and 4-wheel disc brakes. Back in April, the car was here for the auction and the highest bid then reached $37,500. Here at the latest auction, the highest bid reached $23,000. Next is a 1969 Camaro Convertible. It's crazy how many 69s were produced. All models combined were over 230,000 of them. The black interior has AC, a console, and power windows. This one has its numbers matching 307 engine and power disc brakes. The bidding on this car went as high as $48,000. Here's another rare special Corvette because this one has its matching numbers 427 engine. According to the 1967 order sheet, it's the 390 horsepower version, which would indicate a 4-barrel. And it's also a 4-speed car. The original owner had this car until about 10 years ago, and there he is, parked at the beach. The car currently has a tri-power intake on it. The paint has some patina and is possibly original or mostly original. The high bid of $130,000 wasn't enough to purchase the car. This 1971 Chevelle wagon has its original 400 engine, but what makes this car rare is its factory 4-speed, making it possibly one of 12 built, and a pretty cool car if you ask me. Technically, it's a Chevelle Concours Estate station wagon, and it's been fully restored. The car also has a 12-bolt rear, and the added SS rims improves the look of the car. The high bid reached $33,500. Here's one of the nicest 57 Bel Airs you'll come across. The high-end restoration looks awesome, as does the true spoke wire wheels and wide white wall tires. The engine is a 283 V8 with factory dual quads. The high bid was $64,000. In 1972, the manufacturers started to introduce new appearance packages to help make up for the lack of horsepower and to provide a sporty-looking car without the high insurance premiums. The Heavy Chevy was one of them, available in 71 and 72. This one is a tribute car. The original Heavy Chevys weren't available in convertible. This car has its original 350. The high bid reached $42,000, but it wasn't enough to buy it. A few blocks away, this car was for sale with an asking price of $49,000. Check out some steel signs for the garage or man cave at vintagecarmerch.com. There's a discount code and link down below in the description area. And I'll see you in the next one.